We all know that there have been some major benefits created through animal research. Things like the polio vaccine, insulin, tuberculosis medicines. But this is just a drop in the ocean. So here's just a few more, a handful more of things that have been produced through treatments that have been developed through animal research. So let's have a look. People think, it doesn't matter to me, why should I talk up about it? Well, here are the reasons. 150 million prescriptions every year in the US for antibiotics. 95 million prescriptions for asthma treatments. And who are the people getting asthma these days? It's generally the younger generation, those who are traditionally against animal research. Penicillin mice, blood transfusions dogs, medical benefit animal research. Cats, dogs and primates account for about 1% of research, less than that when you start looking at the fact the majority is done on rats and mice. And even so, I mean, all other animals in this case tend to include things like guinea pigs, rabbits, sheep. But let's put these in perspective, because 1 million seems quite a lot. We eat more ducks in this country than the highest estimates of all animals used in research. Cattle, sheep, far more. Pigs, 100 million. Chickens for food, 9 billion in this country. 9 billion compared with about 25 million used in research. Look at the benefits. 26 million for medical benefits that we see every day versus 9 billion, so we have a bit of a nicer lunch. So what about pain? 56%, there is no need for any painkillers because there's just a simple injection. At most, you know, that kind of thing. 37% might have pain, except we use anesthesia to deal with it. And it's only 7% which actually cause the animal pain and that we don't minimize this pain through anesthetics. That's usually when you're testing for anesthesia or you think that such type drugs will affect your experiment. The 3 R's are principles of good science. They're scientific principles made by scientists for scientists because, 1, they don't want to see animals in more pain than they need to be, and moreover, if you want good results, you don't want an animal that is completely stressed by pain. Stress does not give good results, and we should be explaining this. You know, enrichment, methods like this are great for reducing the suffering of animals and making their lives in labs more enjoyable. Ultimately, those animals are going to help us with medical benefits, so why not make their lives as good as possible? Replacement, a commonly misunderstood area because we constantly hear of these alternatives, these magic alternatives that we have that completely could replace animal research. In fact, these methods are all vital for drug development, but they are complementary methods. They are not replacements. They are not alternatives. They are complements. Each of them, animal research, it has its flaws, it has its limits, but so does every method that I've written here. For instance, computer models. It takes the world's fastest supercomputer, Blue GNL, just to model half a mouse's brain for a few seconds at slow speed. How can we possibly believe that we're in a condition where we can accurately model what happens when a drug goes into the system? Test tubes don't get pregnant. They have their limits, yet they are all vital and go alongside the animal research. Reduction, we try and use as few animals as possible, and this is a good thing. Scientists are happy. They don't want to have to use more animals than necessary. It's expensive. Animal research is far more expensive than these alternatives that we hear of. So if they really were, could be used, we would be using them. Not least because we have IACUC committees and others which exist to try and make people use alternatives wherever possible. If they haven't thought of a particular one, IACUCs are there to show people, well, what about this? Could you not use a few less animals and still get similar quality results? Well, to conclude the science, we've got to explain that it is crucial to medical research. Constantly get into the public mind, animal research, medical benefit, insulin, penicillin, animal research, that it is irreplaceable. It is simply an important tool in the toolkit of scientists that we can't suddenly lose, and that it is strictly regulated. The US has one of the highest regulatory standards for animal research, much higher than people have on how they treat their animals at home. that there is round-the-clock treatment, that there are people, veterinarians in research labs whose only job is to make sure that animals are treated well and are essentially happy in their lives. So if we were to ban animal research in this country, what happens? It simply goes abroad. So my last thing is to say, you guys need to stand up for science, because if you don't, no one else will. Thank you very much.